Hi everyone, Zarina here. That's not my face, aka Woolly Nomad. And today I'm looking at one of my books that I have on knitting, and it's full of patterns and stuff as well. But also, I use these for inspiration. So I don't actually follow any of the patterns anyway. I've got a couple here, but I'm just going to talk about this one today. So I rather like this one, and it's more sort of autumn winter kind of knitting. But because I'm doing a cardigan, I'm kind of getting into the garment knitting, and I'm thinking, yes, I need to look at some books. These are the ones I happen to have, but I always go to the library as well. So this is by designer Corolla Gottwald. I hope I've said that properly. And this is from like 2008 and 9, so it's quite an old book, but it doesn't matter. Because with knitting, I always feel that designs always come around again and again, and you just need to add or take away stuff. Like, for instance, this kind of, cardigan, really lovely, but sleeves are sort of shortened here. Well, they could be long if you wanted them to, but obviously as a design element. And then you could wear something underneath if you wanted to as well, so to make yourself a bit more warmer. So yeah, and I'm not sure about the frills on that though. I'm not really a frill person myself, or tassels, or what is it called? Fringe, actually. That's more of a fringe, isn't it? Okay, so I'm just going to show you some of the designs. So I won't be showing any of the patterns from this book. There are patterns in the back somewhere, but yeah, like I said, I don't really look at the patterns anyway. I just look at the designs. I like the fact that this is quite chunky knit, so I don't know what the designs are this year, whether it's chunky knit or not. And does it even matter? Because, you know, when you knit a jumper, right, you're going to have it for a few years, aren't you? You're not going to like chuck it. It's not ready to wear stuff, ready-made stuff, is it? It's something you're going to spend time making. Yeah, this is kind of a nice one, isn't it, actually? I actually rather like her designs. They're really nice, and they're very easy. I mean, this could be quite easy to knit up as well. Yeah, and that quite nice. I like it, the cable design running all the way down the front, and these oversized collars. Actually, that looks like it becomes a hood. That's nice, you know, so that's one to think about. So you've got this collar that then becomes a hood later if you want it to, when you're cold. And again, you've got the long sleeves in that previous one, which is slightly similar, but not exactly similar. Where's it gone? That one. Didn't have sleeves, collar is different. So you see, you change up things design-wise to make them, you know, this or that, whatever you prefer, really. That's quite nice. And it's a sort of a set-in sleeve here. So I'm knitting, my cardigan that I'm knitting is it's a raglan, it's not a set-in sleeve. So that's the set-in sleeve, which is slightly more tricky to, I feel, knit, just because there's some shaping here that has to kind of sit with your body properly, otherwise it looks funny. I mean, for instance, if that wasn't exactly there, if it was down here, that would look weird. So you have to make the size exact and correct. This one I actually really like, and I like this tunic. I've made something very similar in the past, but I like the fact that you've got two pieces here, and you can wear them together or separately even, of course. But yeah, and I like this sort of flared sleeve look, which is something I do with like clothes and stuff. I usually have a flared sleeve, but I think with knitting it's quite nice. The only thing is, I suppose it could sort of get in the way if it's too long, because I like long sleeves. This one I'm not too sure about, but then that's because I don't really like, you know, sort of half sleeves like this. So, yeah, but again, it's kind of chunky looking, isn't it? It's quite a bulky knit, that is. But it's looking quite, you know, it's not too bulky on her, which is kind of a nice idea. So, depending on fabric, I suppose. I usually use like a wool or a cotton. It's an interesting twist on the twist, I say. Sorry about the pun. But yes, you've got nice cable design there, and sort of running across there too. And that's probably a DK weight yarn. So all of these are more DK and chunky weight yarns, I would say, which are very good for knitting things up quickly, actually. That's quite nice, isn't it? For me, a little bit fussy, but, you know, it depends what you want, really, with a garment. Right, what's she got here? Delicious femininity. Oh, wow. Well, I suppose that does look quite feminine, doesn't it, that one? Especially with that pink blouse. So it's also how you style your knitwear, I expect. I like the bobbles on this. They're quite nice, aren't they? I did knit something similar quite a long time ago. It was a cardigan, though, with bobbles, and they were smaller. So these are rather large bobbles, aren't they? But then it depends on the size of yarn you're using. And again, I think it's a DK weight yarn. It might even be a chunky weight, actually, an Aran. Actually, yeah, no, actually, look how big it is. Yeah, that stitch. I'm sure it's an Aran or a chunky, or bulky even. So yeah, so these are kind of bulky. And then you've got a lacy design here, or is it crochet? Oh, yep. We've got a crochet garment here. So that's not knitted. Or is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. This bottom edge is certainly crochet. I mean, this looks like a crochet stitch here. This looks crochet. It's quite nice though. Yeah. I always like holes in crochet as well. This is quite nice, apart from I don't really like this top sort of tassely fringy thing going on. But, you know, it depends what you like. It does give it something, doesn't it? It makes it interesting. Whereas I suppose it's a bit plain otherwise. On the other hand, if you prefer the plain, which is what I would do. Oh, and then here we've got, this is quite nice, isn't it? Got these nice bobbles on it as well. Yes, it's sort of, what stitch is that called? Fisherman's rib or fisherman's stitch or something like that. Somebody might know what that stitch is. But yeah, you can replicate that quite easily if you wanted to. Yeah, well, not that I would be replicating anything, but I just like the idea that, yeah, with bulky and chunky yarn, you can make some nice garments. Because usually, if it's chunky or bulky, it ends up being a bit horrible, doesn't it? And not fitted at all. And some of these are kind of fitted. Well, this one isn't, but look at this detail. Isn't that really nice? I love those buttons. So there is rather a way of making buttons with your yarn. I might cover it at some point. Yeah. I don't really use yarn buttons myself, but then it's something to use perhaps going forward if I wanted to. What have we got here? I've got another one with a bit of sort of faux fur on it. So yeah, that's kind of nice. I think the faux fur makes it a bit fussy personally. So maybe I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't use the faux fur. I do like the buttons though. Again, they're buttons that you can put yarn through. So that's yarn threaded through that button. They're quite nice. Yeah, that's quite nice, that one is. Golden line, okay. So this is obviously a line of design that, what's her name again? What's the designer name? Carola. Carola. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Carola. Something like that, perhaps. Where are we? We're here. I'm showing you all the designs. I don't think it matters. I mean, this isn't all, but it's not like I'm sharing new designs or anything like that. These are kind of from a while back. And people would have knit them up by now, so, you know. I'm not showing you the patterns. So if you want the patterns, you'd probably have to find something similar to this book. Or, I mean, it is a book. There's quite a lot of designs in here. That's nice, isn't it? I really like that. And I do like this sort of thing where you add in the garter rows. That gives it something really interesting and nice. Kind of reminds me a bit of a spacesuit type thing in a funny way, but it's not, of course. Not at all. So it's not anything like a spacesuit. But I think these ridges, they kind of remind me of something like, you know, that like pops out and then we'll go back together again. So yeah, you feel like you can just like somehow, you know, bring this all back. Well, you can't, obviously it's knitting, so it's different, but anyway, I digress and I've probably confused you. And then we have this one again, sort of a plain jumper, and then they've added this interesting cape on the top. So I don't know, it might be even detachable, which would be interesting because I'm not sure I'd want the cape. Some people might. And then we have this design. Now, none of these designs, are they called anything? Well, actually they are. Sorry, they're called something. And they've got numbers as well. Oh, right, okay. Maybe I should have been looking at that. But yes, so you know what? This reminds me of something I made quite a long time ago when I started machine knitting, actually, which I did I did for a while. And I did the cuffs in a sort of a different colour totally, and then the body was like this with some slump yarn. It wasn't this thick though, so this is quite a bulky yarn again. So the one I used wasn't that thick, but it totally reminds me of that cardigan I made. And it was kind of bulky and very warm, so I couldn't wear it a lot. I think it's gone to another home now, as things do sometimes. And this one's interesting too. So you've got sort of a tabard here on top of what looks like a plain jumper. And that's to give you extra warmth. That's quite a nice idea, actually. I rather like that. And, oh, what have we got here? Graphic elegance. So we've got some colour design now, which is quite nice. That's quite good, isn't it? Yeah, that's quite lovely. I don't know if I'd wear the belt, but, that's me. But yeah, I do like that. I do like the sleeves actually and how they've done them. And there is a way of working so that you can get this kind of angular look within the knitting in different colours. So, oh yes, that's nice. And that's kind of a little bit more, what I'd say everyday wear perhaps. You could wear that very easily because it's not got extra bits and pieces on it, which I like. I don't like all the extras, to be honest. I like more plain garments. And that's quite nice as a sort of a throw over as well. Could throw it over that one even, if you wanted to, for layering. So you've got some garments that are for layering here. Then this one with the O-size button, that's interesting, isn't it? Oh, can you see even? Right, yeah. And sort of my voice comes and goes. It's just because I'm holding the phone. And I haven't got a mic on me at the moment because I'm being a bit off the cuff. Right, there we go. I think that's right. Wait a sec. I should hold it there like this, I think. Yeah. And then we have this one, and that's quite nice, isn't it? Some of these are a bit showy. So, for instance, that's sort of a going out one, I'd say. Oh, and that one as well. So that's quite nice. And again, that looks like crochet to me. So not everything in here is knitted. Some things are crocheted. So for any crocheters out there, there you go. It's called Sombra, that one is. That's quite nice. And then you've got this one, again, kind of plain, but quite nice for the winter. Oh, and here they all are in their glory. That's nice, isn't it? So you've got like a whole... There we are. Now, which one's my favourite? Let's think. Let's have a little think. Now, which one's your favourite? You could write that in the comments if you want to. It might be because of a colour or something that you might think something's a favourite. So, I totally get that. But I think what I like is, I'm sort of trying to make a cardie at the moment, designing a cardie, which is going to be nothing like any of these at all. But I suppose I do like this one because it seems to be made with thinner yarn. I mean, it is still DK actually. It's not that thin. It is DK yarn. But I rather like that. And also, oh, is it this one? The tunic. Yes, it was this one, wasn't it? Yeah, there you go. I like that. And it's sort of it looks different here because now we can see what the front is doing. And yeah, a few years ago, cardigans were quite a bit like that, weren't they? So that is a style of a few years ago. I totally get that. But I rather like that one. And, oh, actually, no, I do like this orange one. And I like the colour. And I'd probably make it in that colour if I was going to make it. I mean, you would at least change up colours, wouldn't you? But I'm going to be boring if I was going to make that. I would make that in the same colour. I think the colour has been chosen well for that garment. Anyway, if you have any favourites, let me know. I haven't given you any information about what they're called or anything, sorry. And then there's a nice page on sort of colour choices and stuff like that, and what yarns go with which garment, so you can actually buy the yarns for the garment. That's really interesting. And then you've got the instructions in the back here, which you know, I won't share because obviously you would need to buy the book. But one of the garments is on the back. There it is, and we haven't looked at that one. And that's really nice. It's a poncho, isn't it? And a few years ago, I made a whole bunch of ponchos for my family. And yeah, that's really nice. That's a little bit more work with this one. Mine were all plain. So this is cable. So that would take a bit longer to make. Not everyone would get one. Anyway. Right, thank you guys for watching this episode of Woolly Nomad, and some highlights, as you can see, that's what it's called, of the designer Carola Gottwald. So Google her, find out what she's doing now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go away and have a look at what she's designing at the moment. See you later.